Brilliant. Morning, Dan. How you doing, man? We are live in the...
Doing great.
Cool. Thanks for joining us again. Sorry about... I know we had a few issues again with the
some
streaming,
problems.
guys. So for those who managed to tune in, and we'll obviously, as always, Steve here from Globatol with another double shot. As always, we'll leave the double shot if you don't manage to catch it live. We'll leave it up in the community indefinitely, and we'll go on our YouTube channel. But yeah, we joined this morning by Dan, again out in the UK. This morning we're discussing video marketing on our double shot, just a quick chat, sharing a bit of knowledge, insights into video marketing and how it all works, and just some of the modern trends I think that Dan's was keen to share.
That about sums it up.
Cool, man. Yeah, awesome. So what do you want to share with us?
So I'd just like to say, I think a lot of things that are on people's minds right now is, should I use video? And the answer is definitely yes. It's not only should you, it's how should you.
Yeah.
How should my clients, how should I use video to its full potential? So obviously with the pandemic, we've seen this massive worldwide trend upwards of video communication. Obviously, even Twitter, actually, people are using more video on Twitter, which is actually really surprising. So I've got a stat here. 82% of Twitter users watch video content on Twitter, and consumption on mobile of this video content is rising by double every year. So that's double every year. And if you're not jumping on that train, you got to ask yourself why. Is it something I can't do? Or is it something I just don't want to put the effort into doing? Because it pays back in dividends, and it's really something you should consider.
Yeah, cool. So, I mean, and I think that's a valuable question as well, is like, I think a lot of agencies out there it's no secret that video is a big deal, and everybody's being told we should be doing videos, and we should be promoting video content to our clients and making sure that they're getting video content. But it is about that, how do I get started and what do I do? Now, what would your take be? I mean, for a digital agency watching this who's got some clients, obviously video content is a little bit daunting. It's a bit there's a bit of a technical obstacle and a bit of a barrier to that you have to get over.
Yeah.
What would your tips be for a digital agency to just get them going and maybe have that conversation with their clients?
So there's two things I would say. The first thing is, understand right now in society, people are not interacting as much in person, so they're going to social media to get their fill, right? It becomes, it's socializing for them. Obviously, it's social media, right?
Right.
So when people see your advertising on video, they want something equally as social, equally as interactive, equally as personal. So they're going to want to see you. They're not going to want to see a slideshow or something boring. They want to see you talking to them as a person, sharing what you have to say, giving them some value, all right? So one really good way to kind of pinpoint that is use something called Google Trends. I don't know if you've heard of Google Trends. Yeah. It's this amazing tool whereby you essentially you plug in where you're from, and it tells you what's trending right now and the things that are gripping people's attention. And if you can somehow capitalize on that when you create your marketing materials and when you create this video, then you're going to get a home run every time. People are going to see your content and think, this is actually really topical.
Yeah.
And it's adding value.
Yeah.
And it's interesting me, and all of a sudden it's going viral.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take that much once you get into the swing of it. Just get comfortable behind a camera.
Yeah.
And just stop worrying really, how do I look and things like that. Just get behind the camera and get going. It doesn't matter if it's bad at the beginning, because you're gonna get better.
Yeah.
That's what the process is like. You will get better.
Yeah. Interesting that, I mean, from that perspective of getting in front of the camera, I think it's a very youthful attitude towards things. I mean, the older audience is watching going, I see all these youngsters and they feel nothing to just document their whole life. And there's a bunch of criticism and promotion you can put to that as well. But the reality is that the youth are used to just sticking up a camera and getting in front of it, regardless of of what the outcomes are, what the consequences are, which is one thing. And I know that, as I say, there's a bit of a generational thing there where I think people need to get over. That's the one thing. But I think what's also key about what you brought up there about Google Trends is, and this is something else that obviously we're also familiar with in terms of what we do in the video that we create for our main YouTube channel. You're actually, what you're referring to there, I think, as well is, and what I think a lot of digital marketers tend to forget, is that even if you're creating video, there is a search element to it, and that brings in the SEO element to it. I think there's a stat as well that the YouTube search bar is the second most used search bar in the world next to Google. It's yeah, apparently I think that's
didn't know that.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's accurate. I don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure that I heard that not so long ago.
I'd believe it.
Yeah,
I would believe that.
Makes complete sense, so I
Yeah.
think that's also good advice is, really treat your video content that you're creating for your clients or even for your own agency. Consider search in that content.
Absolutely,
the title
yeah.
you put in there, the description you put in there, the keywords you're targeting in that. Make sure that's very take into consideration search.
Definitely.
Yeah, and what's interesting there as well is that a lot of the digital agencies out there are masters of SEO, way better masters of SEO than their audience or their clients are. And they tend to go to video and think it's a whole new domain. Treat it similarly as you would a blog that you're putting together. You put some keywords in there, you're hoping that the long tail works and that sort of thing. Video content is similar in that regard as well, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube.
I mean, using all of these components together is an absolute tour de force.
Yeah.
If you've got yourself video that you've properly targeted your audience, and you've got copy that's engaging and interesting people, and then you've got the SEO. I mean, these things come together, and you've got yourself basically the avatar of video posts. All right, and people will notice this. People notice when it just clicks.
Yeah.
All right, and if you've already got the skills to properly use SEO,
Yeah.
and you can learn the video skills as you go, because it's not as bad as it seems.
The technical side, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Then really, there's no reason not to.
Yeah.
I just see it as a learning experience, and at the worst case scenario, people are engaging. They're giving your brand a face. They're seeing who's behind the name, and that really that interests people right now.
Yeah.
I mean, if you even take Instagram Reels, like, people are jumping onto that. This is really like a brand new thing. It's just like TikTok, but it could go a different direction, and I think business owners they should definitely give it a try, because if you can start by making a presence on Instagram Reels when it's new, imagine how it's going to be when it starts taking off. Don't you want to be a part of that momentum?
Yeah, 100%.
Just think about where that business or your clients, where that could take you guys.
Yeah.
If you really do just give it a chance.
Yeah. It's interesting you bring up the Reels. We had a good chat, our previous double shot with Adam Barry, who he had early access to it, and one of the things that came up in that conversation was obviously speculation at this stage. Like you say, it's very early days. But where will Instagram Reels go? And one of the things we were discussing was potentially that Instagram's got has already got if you're on Instagram, you've got a following there already. You've already potentially got an audience to check out your Reels.
Exactly.
And I think, as I say, speculation, but it could be that Instagram becomes that TikTok for the more business oriented, but also more older generation, while TikTok is still there for the youth. Maybe that, as you say with Reels, is if you get in now, I mean, it's crazy. The day of the day that it launched, I checked out Instagram Reels and I was just seeing some of the popular things, and there were already people on there with hundreds of thousands of followers on their Reels account.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's pretty, 100,000 of views on there, and it just makes you realize that how much potential, as you say, if you get in early, you can really take advantage of that, which is pretty crazy.
Absolutely. Yeah. Look, it could bomb, but what if it doesn't?
Yeah.
You can't I mean, you make 1 or 2 videos, just give it a chance, right? It's better you do that than just say it's probably going nowhere because TikTok already exists. You're just playing yourself if you do that. You want to be open in as many channels as you possibly can.
Yeah. It's funny, it makes me think of Google Plus in the early days when it first launched all those years ago. And I remember I was working at a men's mag here in South Africa, and everybody was really excited to get on it and start a profile and start posting, and we were all massively into it, like a little hive in the office. And within a week or two, everybody had lost interest because we could kind of see the wood for the trees that it was going nowhere. So, but at least we had tried that initial go. We made that initial go.
Exactly, yeah. Google Plus was a nightmare, but you can immediately see it's just going absolutely nowhere.
Yeah.
But at least, you tried it.
Well, listen,
that's the important thing.
We've all got a profile on there, regardless if you've got a Gmail account, but it's just that we don't do anything.
Yeah. It's gathering dust.
Yeah, exactly. One other thing I think, just in video marketing, I think worth bringing up, what you mentioned about getting in front of the camera. I think it's, I've got a cool story about, or a little anecdote that we experienced in our business. We obviously create content for our YouTube channel, and we've got a really great social media writer who in the business, young girl, really young and funky, and very into the social side of things, and she did a video for us on her first go. And it was when I got it through, I said, hey, this is a great first go, but your second and your third and your fourth and your fifth are going to just get better and better and better. And the very next video she sent through was just an absolute other class of things. And I think that's a worthwhile lesson to pass on as well, is that recognize, and you go back, look at any of the big YouTubers, go look at their early stuff. It's crap. It's hot. It's cringy. And it's about getting over those, failing those first few times and learning those first few lessons before you start realizing, hey, I can do something with my background. Hey, I can improve the performance of my camera. I can improve the lighting. I mean, we've had that exact experience here on our lives. In our early days of lives, where some of them were upside down. It was an absolute dog show. But we've just pushed forward with it, and I'm quite proud of the way we're doing the lives at the moment. I think we've still got a long way to go. But I think that's the lesson as well in video marketing, is just get ready to fail and laugh at yourself and make those errors and recognize that it is going to be seen by people. But, the quicker, it's like anything in life, I suppose, the quicker you laugh at it and laugh it off, the sooner you move on and become better off it.
Yeah. And the thing is, really, if you just imagine, I don't know the exact statistic, but the amount of people that are consuming content on the internet versus how many people that are creating content, if you're in that camp where you are creating the content, you're in the minority. Okay, so even if people are laughing at you, they're not doing what you're doing, right? The best way to get behind it and just do it is literally just get after it, jump in the deep end. And even in the beginning, when it's bad, there's nothing, you can criticize other people's work all day long, but you'll never truly get better at what you're doing until you do it yourself. Like, I've been making some content for Instagram. It's not like I've got a massive following. I just enjoy creating the content. And at first, it didn't look too good. I think I was using Canva at the beginning just to create something that looked half good. And then I figured out, actually, Adobe XD looks a lot better. I'm going to start using that instead. And then the content just shot up in terms of quality. And the same thing will happen with video. You'll at first things will be bad, but you'll start understanding the nitty gritty, and you'll take it further yourself. And that's the main takeaway.
Yeah, cool. Good lesson. Brilliant, Dan. Listen, thank you so much for joining us, man. I really appreciate the insights. Guys, obviously, if you did manage to tune in, I saw a couple of people come in and drop out and whatnot. Thanks for joining us. Obviously, as I said, it'll stay up in the community for a bit. Definitely, and we'll stick it on our YouTube channel. I'll also stick on the bottom of the live, Dan, I'll get your details of how people can get in touch with you if they want to take the conversation further or get any more insights from you. And man, thanks for joining us. Have a good weekend.
Thank you very much.
Awesome, man.